Imagine waking up one day and discovering that the entire world, every message, every photo, every video, every business, every connection, suddenly stopped working. No social media, no YouTube, no online banking, no navigation, no email. Nothing. It sounds impossible, right? But all of this relies on something that didn't even exist 60 years ago. So today we're going back to the beginning, to the moment when a small military experiment accidentally became the most important technology in human history. This is the story of how the internet was born. And trust me, the real story is way crazier than you think. Welcome to TechTime Histories, where we explore the hidden stories behind the technologies shaping our world. To understand why the internet was created, we have to understand something first. Back in the 1960s, the world was terrified. The Cold War was at its peak. Both the United States and the Soviet Union had nuclear weapons, and the fear of a sudden attack was very real. The US military had one major concern. If we're attacked, how do we keep communication alive? At that time, communication systems were fragile. If one telephone exchange or one building was destroyed, the entire network could collapse. So the question became, can we build a communication system that cannot be destroyed? A system that would keep working even if large parts of it were gone? That question was the seed of the internet. In the 1960s, computers were giant machines the size of refrigerators. Only governments, universities, and large corporations had access to them. Normally, computers communicated in a very simple way, one message at a time in a straight line. If the line broke, the message was lost. But a few researchers, Paul Barron in the US and Donald Davies in the UK, proposed a revolutionary idea. Instead of sending one big message, what if we break the message into small packets? Each packet could travel independently, taking different routes. If one path was destroyed or blocked, the packets would simply take another. When all packets reached their destination, the message would be reassembled. It was brilliant. It was flexible. It was nearly impossible to destroy. And in 1969, this concept became the foundation of the first version of the internet, ARPANET. On October 29, 1969, something happened that would change history forever. Two computers, one at UCLA, one at Stanford, connected over ARPANET. The first message ever sent across the network was supposed to be login, but the system crashed. So the first message in internet history was simply "Lo," two letters that accidentally became a legend. By 1973, ARPANET connected universities across the US. By the late 70s, it expanded to Europe. Scientists, researchers, and students could suddenly exchange data in ways that were impossible before. The power of networking was becoming clear and unstoppable. ARPANET was groundbreaking, but there was a big problem. Different networks couldn't communicate with each other. Some used different protocols, rules, and message formats. It was like speaking different languages. So two researchers, Vint Cerf and Bob Kahn, developed something new, TCP/IP. Transmission Control Protocol/Internet Protocol. Think of it as the universal language of the internet. No matter what computer you used, no matter what network you connected to, TCP/IP made sure you could communicate. On January 1, 1983, ARPANET officially switched to TCP/IP. That day is considered the true birthday of the modern internet. After that, networks around the world started merging. A global system was forming, something much bigger than anyone expected. As ARPANET grew, new ideas began to pop up. In 1971, Ray Tomlinson sent the first email ever. He also introduced the @ symbol, a choice that would define digital communication for decades. Then came the first mailing lists, the first online communities, the first online games, the first digital libraries. By the 1980s, the domain name system DNS was born. Before DNS, you had to type long strings of numbers to visit a site. DNS introduced names, .com, .org, .net, .edu. It made the internet human-friendly. Suddenly, the system wasn't just a military tool or a scientific experiment. It was becoming something ordinary people could eventually use. And then came the moment everything changed. In 1991, a British scientist named Tim Berners-Lee created the World Wide Web. He invented HTML, URLs, HTTP, hyperlinks, web browsers, web servers. Basically, he invented the entire structure of modern websites. The internet existed before, but the web made it accessible. It was like turning a secret underground tunnel system into a massive public highway. In 1993, the first graphical browser, Mosaic, appeared. It had images, text, links, all on one screen. This triggered the first massive wave of internet users. People suddenly realized, this thing is the future. The mid-1990s were crazy. The number of websites exploded from 23 to millions. Companies rushed to get online. Amazon, Yahoo, eBay, Google all were born during this era. Investors threw money at anything with .com in the name. Some companies had no product, no plan, no revenue, but still got millions of dollars. Eventually, the bubble popped. Hundreds of companies went bankrupt. Billions were lost overnight. But the survivors? They became giants. Amazon, Google, eBay, PayPal. The crash killed the weak ideas, but it also cleared the path for the internet we use today. The 2000s brought speed. Dial-up internet. That loud, nostalgic screeching sound died. Broadband arrived. Then Wi-Fi. Then smartphones. Then social media. Suddenly, the internet wasn't something you log into. It was something you lived in. Facebook connected people. YouTube connected culture. The iPhone connected everything. Millions became billions. Today, the internet is everywhere. In your pocket, on your TV, in your car, in your fridge, in satellites above Earth, undersea cables crossing oceans, cloud servers storing our memories. It controls business, education, entertainment, communication, politics, finance, everything. It's no longer a tool. It's a global nervous system. And here's the irony. The internet wasn't created for fun. It wasn't created for social media. It wasn't created for entertainment. It was created because military scientists were afraid of losing communication during a nuclear war. A system built out of fear became the technology that connects humanity. Thanks for watching this deep dive into the rise of the internet, from a Cold War experiment to the digital world we live in today. If you enjoyed this journey, hit like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more tech history documentaries. See you in the next episode.